Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of the podcast, Printing's Alive, with me, your host, Warren Werbitt, lover, passionate man about print and fishing. Today, we have, as always, a special guest. Today, we have someone that I had to bring on the show. He's not from print. I've known him for a few years, but trust me, he's got something that every print business owner wants to hear. Alex is a AI innovator. He's a futurist, and he's the founder of Northstarbrain.com. I encourage you all to go look at it. Basically, what he does is he helps companies think differently. Sounds easy, not easy. Just think about yourself. We have a hard time, especially in the print industry, because we move so slow. We're slow to change. But with AI right now, we cannot be slow anymore. And let's just go right into it. Alex, let me just ask you, for those of you who don't know yet, you're Alex Northstar, and what led you to build NorthstarBrain.com?
Well, first of all, buongiorno to you, Warren. It's a pleasure to be here on your podcast because I know you're a big fishing expert, but also I know that you are a man that never fails to have energy, like wherever you go, like you never stop. So it was a pleasure to meet you in Vegas. To the good people out there listening today, I'll try my best to kind of be educational, to give you some tips what you can do with AI, and also help you maybe change your mindset on a couple of things. And to go back to your question, right? Why am I doing this whole North Star brain, whatever I'm doing? Because at the end of the day, people, listening to the podcast are, what can I get from this? What am I going to learn? What you're going to learn is that I've been doing this stuff not since 2 years, but since 2019. Back then, nobody cared about it. Now, the interesting part of it, though, is that these systems are improving much faster than we think. This is one of our little weaknesses as humans, right? Because we think it's going to progress. We always say, like, if you see all those science fiction movies, right? Oh, it's going to be 2050 and 2100, whatever. No, this stuff is happening much faster than we expect. And then we don't know how to react, what to do with it. And at the end of the day, that's what happens to me, right? Because business owners come to me and they ask me, hey, how can I save costs with AI? How can I make my work easier? And how can I make more money? At the end of the day, that's kind of what I do in a nutshell. So we're trying to basically figure out practical solutions for people because there's a lot of hype and fluff out there, right? You see every day all these titles like graphic designers are obsolete, software developers are not needed. Everybody's needed. And from the latest research from PwC, it's actually helping people make more money because they are more skilled and are able to do much more things than before. So this is not me claiming this. This is literally go see the reports from PwC from 10 days ago. So the future for now, it's actually looking exciting. Cool. People are empowered to do much more than before. And that's why I want to help people in this transformation, right, as an educator. Because like before doing this, so I studied this stuff in 2019. Then I went and worked a few years in Berlin together with a small company called Google. Maybe you heard about them. They do internet stuff. Huh?
Something.
That's what I heard. It wasn't bad, not a bad company. And then I left to basically have my own consulting company for like AI education, implementation, automation. And it's been going well. I mean, I get to travel to Vegas to meet a man like Warren to have this podcast. So can I complain? This is great.
And then you get to travel everywhere else. So it's
also everywhere else, yes.
So I've said it, others said it. I want to keep saying it. I want people to hear it. You will not lose your job to AI. You will lose your job to someone who knows AI better than you, period. So, encompass yourself, put yourself in it, get in it, throw yourself in, learn, play around with it, know something. Just don't be oblivious to it. So on your site, it says, your brain is not built for the modern world. Can you explain what that means and then why it matters to business owners?
Say it again, your brain?
Your brain is not built for the modern world.
Yeah. So that's the thing, right? Because again, I always try to figure out, because I'm not just an AI nerd, right? I try to have a little bit more of a holistic view. Like, why do we do the things we do, right? How do we manage our focus, our attention? Where is the future of work going? How are we going to be more effective human beings, right? So one of the things we need to understand a lot of times, like we still have the hardware of the cavemen that used to go hunting with spears. So now when you try to take all the stuff, right, and put it into somebody's brain and hope that they're going to do like 50 tasks at the same time, it's just not going to happen. So this is why we need to be mindful of people's needs, how their brain works, because again, I read like dozens of psychology books and all this stuff on the science of learning, the science of effective learning. So this is why it's important, like basically my approach, right? When I teach people this kind of stuff, to be mindful how they learn, how they absorb information, how they put this information to good use. Because I can tell you, so working with like hundreds of people at this point in the last 2 years and a half of my life, right? With like entrepreneurs, founders, small teams, bigger companies too. The hardest part with AI hasn't been to get them from 1 to 10. It's getting them from 0 to 1 is the part where like, yeah, I heard about this chat GPT thing, but I don't know what to do with it. To the point where like, oh, I tried it. I actually got some cool stuff out of it. Maybe I'm gonna play with it a little bit more. And then everything changes. Because now you're not the victim of hype. Now you're in control. Now you're actually trying these tools. You're seeing what it does good, what it does bad. And you're just how can I say this? Like you have a proactive role. You're not the victim of this revolution. You are in control of directing the good future. This is kind of what I try to build together, like the good future with AI. Does that make sense?
That makes so much sense and is so perfect for where I'm about to head. Okay. So, you know, the world of print, like I said before, one of the larger, I didn't say this, but one of the larger industries in the world. We're somewhat considered commodity when we're a service-based industry because every business needs us to help them get their products out, whatever it might be. Could be software in a box, could be vegetables, frozen food, whatever, signage, movies, blah blah blah. But being one of the older industries, it's starting to pick up speed slowly, but it's still very far behind. And the people that are leading, a lot of the people leading the industry are slow to change. So, this is what I kind of wrote. Many in the print world still think AI means chat GPT or robots taking jobs. What would you say to printers who are hesitant or confused about
I
AI?
know that, yeah. So like, it's not only printers, to be honest with you, because again, I have these talks daily with people, right? And I can sometimes I sense the hesitancy, like the fear, the uncertainty. They're like, because they hear all the hype and the fluff. Because this is what the media does, right? The job of the media is to get you hyped about it, but in a negative way, just to get your attention. So for me, again, I tell people, do the boring stuff. Sit down, figure out your daily task in the printing industry, what you do as an expert printer, manager, company owner, whatever you need to do for your clients, and figure out together maybe like 1 to 2 potential workflows, like ideas, places where you could put a little bit of AI into it, right? So I'm saying it can be super simple from like interaction with clients, right? If they have to sign up for a form to get in contact with your services, or a delivery that you have to send them some documentation, whatever, if you can find ways to streamline this just a little bit to make your processes a bit leaner, more effective, faster, more cost effective, now you're cooking with AI. So that's why I tell people you don't need to go out there and try all the tools because that would be terrible. That would be overwhelming. You will not enjoy the experience. It would be useless. Figure out the stuff that you need. So when I go, for example, right, and I have discovery calls with potential clients, like I don't pitch them anything. I don't tell them like, oh, use these tools. I ask them, what do you normally do every day? What software do you use? What are your usually like your bottlenecks? And if they tell me, well, we always need confirmation from their manager to send the proposal, whatever. All right, why does that happen? Because it takes us like 3 days to send the proposal. And I'm like, well, it takes me like half an hour to send it because I have the whole call with the client recorded. I plug it through my custom GPT. I have the PDF ready, and they never expect to receive it in like literally 27 minutes. So like, I know it works. I did it for myself. I'm going to show you how to do it. And when they see a practical use case, now their mind opens. You're like, oh, this stuff can actually be useful for me. And that's what you want. You don't want the hype. You don't want the newest tool. Nobody cares about the newest tool except the AI influencers. And I'm not one of them.
Yeah, no, I think, I think, first of all, again, I've said it the last little while and I'll continue. If you're going to use chat or any of the language models, pay the $20 a month. Don't use the free version, right? You want, other than me, you want to tell us why you should pay every month?
Right. So I'm going to put it in a different way. How much money do you spend on beer every month? Because I'm pretty sure it's going to be more than $20, right? Now, the way I say it to clients is like, listen, It's one of the smartest things that we cooked in the last 300 years. It costs you only $20. If you want to work with me, I will buy it for you. Like I will sponsor you with the $20 just so you can see how much better results you can get because you have access to more usage from it. They have like more features. So why would you use the inferior version of something? Like that's what I'm trying to tell them. At least try it out. Worst case scenario, you're gonna spend the $20 for 1 month, and if it's not useful, fine, cancel the subscription. You're not gonna die for $20. So this is why I try to tell them, it's like at least try to get the best out of it. If you are gonna work with me, or in general, if you say one morning, wake up like, you know what, I want to try it out. Why are you just drive a Ferrari directly, right? Pay the $20, get the best service, see how it runs. If you don't like it, just drop it. It's not gonna be the end of the day for like $20, in my opinion. Like I remember, I had this workshop with people from a company, like a packaging company, and I literally told them because I knew that they didn't have access, like they were thinking what subscription they should get. And I literally told them, listen, if you want, get the pro subscription. If you don't like it, I'll pay you back at the end of the month. I'll give you the money back if you don't like it. And they were like, this guy is out of his mind. No, 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 you'll see what I mean. But they didn't ask for the refund. They kept using it. They got the ChatGPT.
Sorry, no one's going to ask for $20 anyways because they feel cheap after. But really, you get the robust version, and you also have a sense of security of own information because you're not feeding the world and it's not learning off of your stuff that you're putting in for free, right?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, like with all the, like again, they are quite generous on the free plans. And some people ask like, well, why? Because they want to get your data so they can make them better. Now, for normal people, it's not the end of the day. It's like, oh my God, it's stealing my secret lasagna recipe. But if you are an enterprise or like if you're a small team, right, and you have some proprietary data, you might want to explore into some more private solutions out there, yeah. Or simply just get the $20 subscription, turn off data training. Yeah.
In general. And I mean, and if you're going to use the version, and I'll just be quick, make sure your name's not on it. Make sure there's no company name on it. Make sure there's nothing that's viable for people to see and know. If it's just numbers and words, it doesn't matter, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I tell people, like just anonymize, like use the AI or try to give it, like just remove the client names or stuff like that's personally identifiable information.
So for people in print or other business, what's the first couple things that you see people using AI for?
Brainstorming for sure. For example, figuring out like for project deliveries or some project ideas or drafts or templates, right? So you literally go to it and say, like, hey, can you give me 3 different variations of this? Or give me some novel approach to it. Like, this is one of those things that people overcomplicate, right? Because they expect these huge prompts, complicated stuff. And I literally tell them, listen, what the simplest thing you can do today to get a good return on investment from AI is simply go to it with your problems and ask it, can you give me 3 different ways to solve this problem? And you might say, what is this problem? This is like, it's literally 2 sentences, but what's the difference? You see, again, we go back to the brain, to the psychology. We have our own subjective solutions. So based on our own life experience, at the end of the day, we don't know what we don't know, right? You have a problem and you're going to face it as Warren, with Warren's experience, and that's your solution. Is that the best solution in the world? Is that the smartest? Maybe, maybe not. So it takes you literally 5 seconds to go to ChatGPT and say, I have this problem or I have this project. Give me 3 different ways to fix it, to solve it, to do it better. And you might be surprised because it might suggest you ways that are like much better than what you think or that you had in mind. And this could literally change the whole outcome of a project, of a new client deal, of the way that you have to do business. You can literally ask it, hey, we have this process of, onboarding clients where we have to send them these documents, and you can literally have ChatGPT telling you like, why don't you do this other way with like document signing online, and then you can send them an automated email 24 hours later, and they just have to sign in 2 places with a short little video. And it's like, oh, yeah, we could do that, so we can spare like 200 emails per month. That's already a win in my book.
Yeah, I mean, listen, even simple things. My LinkedIn ad, I used to sit there and write it, and then I attach a picture, a file, something. Now I pick up my phone, I'm dictating into chat what I want. I'm prompting it or telling it what I really want to see after, and then I make some corrections usually, and then cut, paste, attach the link. It's a 7-minute ordeal versus a 27-minute ordeal.
And
right?
you might
So
even get better results. Because, like, again, like what I'm saying, like one of the
I
use
am
cases is the brainstorming.
I am getting better results, I think, right off the bat because just the way it sounds with the tweaking, right? Like, I mean, AI, it could learn who you are, how you write, what you do from the stuff that you put in. So some of the stuff that I've put in, it comes back and it says to me, well, do you want it to be more professional, polished, or casual? And I don't really like starting off stuff with dear. So now it all starts off with hey,
Hmm.
like just more me. But I could change it if it's something a little more serious, right? And it gives you, it also for me, when I'm doing some of that emailing and you use it, it takes out the fluff, if you, for lack of better wording, and it makes it a little bit more concise and direct. And then you could have it um, really any feeling that you want it to have. So
But you
it's
can
really
go even
good.
one step further. For example, you can go in the like psychographics and stuff like that. So, for example, one of the things that I do, because I also do sales and stuff like that, right? So I try to say, put yourself in the shoes of my leads or my prospect. What would they think if they received this offer from me? Could you say a tone that would be more in line with who they are and what they would like to receive? These are little things that the AI can literally try to simulate for you that you wouldn't know because maybe you have experience, maybe you don't, and the result can change your deal.
My mouth is sitting open because I never thought of that.
I do
And
because I want to raise my conversion rates and I'm very like fixated with like, numbers and stuff like that. But to me, again, it was interesting because I'm a teacher at the end of the day. I'm not a sales guy, right? So I struggled for quite a long time. So what I used to do is in every call I used to go, I have these like AI recorders. I would take the transcript, I would put it into ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude, and I would ask it, what mistakes did I make? How can I improve my pitch? How can I give them more value based on who they are and what they need? And simulate for me a better conversation for next time. And I would tell it, be ruthless. Do not sugarcoat it. Do not make me feel good. I want to know how to be better at this, even if I'm going to get pissed today about it. And you're going to get a whole different result than the basic chat GPT that you see out there.
wow, I don't even know what else to say as well because I think that's amazing. On my call Zooms, I record on Read.ai. I've tried Fathom and I've had a couple others, but what Read AI does is similar to what you said. It gives me the video, it gives me the transcript, it gives me the calls to action, it pulls
Yeah.
out all of that. But more importantly, on the next tab, it gives me coaching. It gives me the words per minute. It gives me the level of the tone in which I've spoken. It points out, the good, the bad, the ugly. But I'm going to try taking the transcript, what you said, and putting it in and seeing what it comes back. And for anyone listening, how good is that for after you've done your presentations and record them? And by the way, if you're going to record them, you can use Limitless, you could use the cloud, you could ask me later what they are. But you take it and it's all right there, and you could have your answers in no time.
Yeah. And again, I'm teaching, this is one of the things I teach to clients when I work with them because this is one of those things that literally makes you money. Because again, what I told you in the beginning, I'm not interested in teaching people AI theory, introduction to LLMs. No business owner is asking me that. They want to know how can I save costs? How can I make more money? So one of the things I teach them, if your sales guys know what they're messing up and how they can improve next time on the call, and they increase their conversion rates from like 15% to 30%, you are doubling your profit in 1 month. Do you want that? And now they're like their mind starts to open because I'm not pushing the AI. I'm teaching them a better way to do sales, which everybody wants. Does that make sense? Because at the end of the day, this is why it's kind of funny. One of the things that I do is I try to remove as much as possible the word AI from conversations because, yes, I am an AI nerd, but the people I talk to, they don't necessarily care about this, right? They want to get more results in business. They heard about this new tool and they're like, how could I use it to be more successful? And it's like, perfect. What do you need? Do you need more sales? Do you need faster processes? Do you need better support for your clients? And based on this, I can give you some AI solutions. I'm not going to pitch people complex automations that you can build because they didn't ask for this. They're looking for business solutions.
Listen, it's the small business solutions that help. If you're a salesperson, the first thing that you can do with chat is your email. You write or dictate whatever it is that you want to say, and you then tell chat what real point is that you want or who you want to hit the target, and then ask it to revise it or polish it up or however you want. And I think when you and I always ask it to take out the hyphens. Not that
Yeah,
everyone
yeah,
does
yeah.
it. Not that everyone doesn't know everyone's using AI, but the hyphen you don't have to put it in their face, right? Skip one thing. But just what I've seen from putting in, say, my email and then having it rewrite it, I'm like, oh my God, I sound professional now. That's amazing. So I know that the person on the other side is reading it in a professional way also. Another area where it's helped me is when you have to write hard email or email that you don't want to write because it's dealing with a certain situation, an error, a delivery, a late, or you have to reject something. So I've written it and I've got, oh my God, I can't send that. And I put it into chat. I just prompted to polish it up and I want to get my point across with them. I don't want to be disrespectful. I don't want to sound vengeful. And it comes back and I'm like, oh my God, I should have been a writer. No, but, and so two things. One, I'm sounding better. And B, I'm saving the time to actually not write it the way I would. But the bigger time I'm saving is the time I'm trying to think about how and what I should do when I don't really know.
Yeah, so that's why, like for me, for example, the value is actually the added values. Like when I have these interactions, I ask it, explain it to me your logic. Because this is one of the things a lot of people skip, right? They go to ChatGPT and say, like, rewrite this email. And it does like, oh, this is good. The next step would be explain to me your logic. Because once you read it and you're like, ah, that's why. Now you're becoming a sharper thinker. Now for the next trick email you're going to get, you're not as dependent on ChatGPT because you learned your lesson. So you might still use it, right? Because it's easier, but you also became more knowledgeable. Does that make sense?
No, it's learning without sitting in a classroom being taught, right?
Nobody wants
You're
that. I
learning
mean,
on
this is
you're
why
on your
it's,
own.
but it's modern education, right? Like back in my days, I used to read like books because like I was bored in school. I would just buy these American business books and I read them in my own free time because that back then in the days that was the best medium to acquire knowledge. Nowadays, I would just go to ChatGPT, right, and ask a question like, "Hey, I have this specific problem. I want to build something cool. Help me build it. Explain it to me. I am not technical, whatever. Guide to me from the foundations what I need to know, and let's make it happen." A lot of this stuff nowadays with the clients I work must be project based. Never learn in the void. That's what I'm telling people. You do not want introduction to LLMs, to when did AI start. You want to know what piece of your daily work could you automate as a little project. And we're going to try out a couple of tools, a couple of prompts until you get some results. And because you saved 30 minutes per day, now you get the benefits of AI. You can learn new things. You have a little bit of extra time to have lunch or dinner with the wife, play a little bit with the kids. That is the good future with AI.
Well, you know what? If we've learned anything, and I keep saying it from the young people today, or younger than me, is we shouldn't have to work 5, 6, or 7 days a week. We're on this planet for too short a time. I think AI will now give everyone the opportunity to work smarter, work better, not sit at their desk, turn in circles when they don't know what they're going to do. Better to get up and just leave, and it's about getting the work done. So I think we have the opportunity with AI to take our lives back a little and take a little bit more control. This is,
So when I continue regarding this, because again, I'm Italian, so for me, like the Dolce Vita is like top three things in life. Like I'm not gonna overwork myself to death. That's why I just travel around the world and I do cool stuff, and I have like my AI to like half of the work that I do is done by AI, which is great because I built these systems. But the whole improvement, I think, to our quality of life is the fact that we're not stuck anymore. So 2.5 years ago, if you had a problem and you didn't know how to solve it, it would have taken you a long time to figure it out because you couldn't. I don't know. Back in the days, you used to go to the library and try to find books, or you watch a YouTube video, whatever. You don't need to do that anymore. You literally go and say, it's like, listen, I need to redo my website. How can I make it happen? It's a WordPress website. Show me the basics to make it happen the next half an hour. Um, I need to write the first three chapters of my book. This is the topic. Can you give me 10 ideas? I want the coolest one that's going to be the most controversial, engaging. Give me ideas. Boom. You're not stuck there for 3 days with a blank page. You can keep moving. And that is fundamental for ambitious people, right? For people who want to build, That is the only block that you had before that you don't have anymore today. Nobody's stopping you from doing whatever you want. It's just a one prompt away. The real question is, are you going to spend those $20 to get a subscription or go and write that little prompt? Because if you're not, then who's at fault? You have all the tools there. It's even free. Did you prompt it? No. Then why? What do you expect?
Oh no, we the human now are guilty of anything that won't do or accomplish, right? Because the assistance is there. And when you say, you sit for 3 days, I don't hide it, but I've got a little bit of ADHD, maybe a little bit more than a little bit. And the head zooms around and the ideas and things go really fast. And ever since the AI became public, that's what I say now, but since it's public, it saved me hours and hours of mental anguish and frustration, which in itself is giving me back a little bit of life because now I could sit down and technically have a conversation with whatever AI I want to use. And then it's asking me questions and then I'm answering. And then from that, all of a sudden, I'm able to at least have my basic thought in my head that I couldn't
Yeah.
get before.
Yeah.
And once something has the thought in the head, then it's easier to go from pen to paper, so to speak. Not that we're using pen or paper.
But you can. Like you can. That's the thing. Like if you talk about pen and paper, for example, I do still use it sometimes. I do have, my good sir, pen and paper. But clarity that you gain from talking with these assistants is super valuable. Because again, back in the days, you used to have this kind of clarity with a $10,000 life coach or something, right? That would have your sessions every Thursday at 3 p.m. Now I'm like,
50 minutes,
I really
not even
don't.
an hour, 50 minutes.
Right, minimum. Or you're a therapist that wants you to get on the next session, so they're not going to let you off the hook. You know what, with AI is like I say, like, hey, I argued with my friend. It's really bothering me. I don't know how to fix it. Can you give me a better reframe for the situation? Can you help me write for him a message because I want to make peace, but I don't know how I'm upset. I want to get out of this situation, make things good.
Oh
I'm
my
super
God.
pissed right now. I don't know how. Because I know, Warren, like I'm a human too. That's why I tried to put AI to work for humans and not the other way around. I am the guy that has been like, there was this girl I talked with this morning. She told me, you're the guy who shared the story in Vegas about breaking up with your girlfriend with ChatGPT. And I was like, that's how you remember me? Out of all the talks that I do, like on optimization, productivity agents, you remember me because I broke up with my girlfriend with ChatGPT?
You know what? Doesn't matter how or why. The only thing that matters is she remembered you, right?
There you go.
Something will come back from that. But no,
It's,
but
again,
I'm saying it's so right that not that you want to be breaking up, but it helps you write. I think more and more people break up and blow each other off on a text anyways. But with the AI, it gives you the right text.
no, it's
Right?
not about like it's not even about
No,
the
but
text per se. It
it's
gave me the
mentally.
understanding. For example, it gave me the understanding because I was asking all my friends, and my family, and they were giving me all mixed opinions, from their own point of view. And the value of AI is like it's kind of objective. So I remember, even in this tricky situation, I was asking it, could you give me an objective explanation, like how are things going between you, based on all that you heard? Is it good? And it was telling me, hey, based on the talk I heard about the last 40 minutes you told me, these are my observations. And I couldn't argue with it. Like, it was completely right. And I was surprised because it was telling me, oh, based on the terminology you're using, you're not saying we, you're talking you and her. And you're not thinking how beautiful it's going to be when you're going to be together. You're thinking about the stress to figure it out. So you're already starting with the wrong foot. And I was like, damn, it got me. Like I wasn't seeing this, but once you told me this, like it
Correct.
was clear day and night.
Right. No, but that's when I say you get the right message with AI to send. It's because
Mm.
you go through that thought process, or it puts
Yeah.
things there that you wouldn't have thought of. And then you're able to, or it's able to articulate it in, for lack of better wording, a kind, gentler way than maybe we would have said, or you would have said, you know what, this isn't really working. You're done. Or, right. And then,
Yeah, because again, it takes you away from your limited
space.
worldview and it
Yes.
gives you a higher, like more options at the end of the day. We go back to the first solution I shared today, where it's like just ask it to give you three different solutions to this problem. The first solution, of course, would be like my solution was like, this is not working. I don't want to talk with you anymore. But then the other two solutions are going to be, why don't you try to explain to her how life would be difficult if things don't work out later? And I was like, what does that even mean? But then explaining it to me, I was like, I get it. This is an interesting way of putting things in perspective that I wouldn't have not thought about. That is better than my original thinking. So it's a pure improvement, to my thought process. It was like limited based on my limited understanding of the world.
So for people listening,
I'm
you
not
get
an
to
expert
use.
heartbreaker, so I don't have a template to send out there. So like I
No,
needed some
that's
coaching
good.
for
Good
this.
thing, right? No, but so here we are having this conversation. It started off business and print, and now we're talking about AI in our personal space and how we could use it to learn, to grow,
Yeah.
benefit, the ups. So for everyone listening, I don't know if you thought about that, because everyone I talk to generally or I bump into, it's all business focus, right? It's all, I remember last year when Jess told the story about using chat when she went shopping with her husband, came home, put everything in a box in chat that was in the pantry, including the items that were going to expire. And, of course, her husband didn't really want to do that with her, but you don't say no. And when it was done, Jess says, I'm never going to lose money on food again, because she prompted you, can I have 3 recipes for tonight's dinner using the food that's going to expire soon? She goes, so it didn't just give me the name of something to do, it gave me the name and how to do it and the ingredients. And I was thinking, oh my God, never mind not saving money. How many times I look in my pantry and go, what could I make because I'm hungry? And then it comes down to, I don't really know what ingredients to put together to make something really quick. So I resort to like a bowl of cereal and fruit. But you could do so much more with it in moving. And that's the important thing, I think, one of that people have to embrace the AI for
I'll,
themselves and watch how it
I'll
improves
give
life.
you I'll give you a little reframe on this. Like they don't have to embrace it. Like it is an option there that could make their life more peaceful and better. Because this is why, for example, I kind of pivoted the thought slowly from the business side to the personal side. Because you see, when you talk about business, people are like, I either want this or I don't care. This is some business stuff. I don't want to talk about work. But when it starts impacting a little bit your personal life, then you got a bit more skin in the game, because I know that we are heading towards this future. Because I basically I predicted this in 2019, right? So we're gonna go to the AI agent, like not the AI, but like the AI secretary that's gonna be always with you, right? So make a phone call to my mom, buy my groceries, buy my flight to New York or whatever, and it's just gonna do it. It's gonna go out there and do it. So it's gonna be part of our daily lives. Now, I wouldn't say that they have to embrace it, because people can do whatever they want at the end of the day. But
Agreed.
I want to tell them is like there are different ways that you can face your current life struggles, whether it's business or personal, that you might want to explore, that you might want to try out just to see how it is. 1 month. If it's not working for you, fine. At least you try it out and now you know what's out there, compared to being victim to the hype, to the news, to the AI blackmailed people and it's stealing jobs. And it's like, did you ever, like, if you try it, you will know that's not really stealing jobs, because you have to give it orders what to do. So
Everybody thought they were going to lose their job to the computer once upon a time. Now there's more people working on computers than ever before, right? And when I say embrace, I'm saying it, maybe it's use it as the wrong word, but if you're going to go forward in life today, it's going to be everywhere. So don't fight it, learn about it.
yeah,
See how
exactly,
see
because
how it could
it,
enhance what you do daily. And
exactly,
then I
because
guess
it's an energy thing. It's an energy thing because
right.
again, I talk with like hundreds of students, entrepreneurs, founders, teams, and you see again, it comes from the teacher perspective, right? Because if I tell people you have to apply these, and they're gonna be like, who is this guy? Why is he giving me orders? I don't want to do this. They're all trying to shove AI and automation down my throat. I hate it. And I'm like, you're right. This is not a good approach to it. My approach is like, let's figure out, are there ways that I can make your life better with this stuff? If the answer is no, I'm not going to bother you. I'm not going to talk about that at all. We're going to talk about fishing, pizza, vacation to Italy. But if there are ways that I could make your life just like 5% better, would you not want it? If I can make your talks with your friends more successful, and can make you more persuasive, and I can make your business run more effortlessly, would you not want it? I'm not telling you what you're gonna get. I'm just saying there are ways to make it
No,
happen.
for
Would you
sure.
want this? And that's why you see. Also, it goes to the logic of us telling you. I don't even need to pitch the word AI. I'm saying there are better ways to maybe live a more smarter life and have a more efficient business. If you're interested, try out the stuff. And it goes much more effortlessly, right? Because people then are like, yeah, I can try this stuff out. I don't have to hit them with the AI agents and like the latest stuff and MCP servers. And they're like, what is this? I don't care. Leave me alone.
Nah, you know what? I love your approach because for the longest time, since the whole AI revolution started, right? And I've been looking into the feed on my phone and my Instagram is AI this, AI that, lead gen, all kinds of stuff. So what I've done is, me being me, I made appointments with some of these people to see, to learn, and I'm gonna say like most of it's full of it. The lead gen stuff, they're just scraping LinkedIn. You could, if you want, you could sit down and create your own agent to scrape LinkedIn. They're not doing anything so magnificently for $3,500 a month,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? I mean, they could probably, I'm going to give you a plug. They could hire you, get to a point where they want to know something. You could guide them or help them or build them an agent. And $3,500 a month for 12 months, it's going to be less than 3 grand.
For sure, but I'm saying this is why. So, like, I do believe in educating people, right? So,
Yeah.
teach them how to fish. Don't just give them the fish. But it's a way to still be more in control. Because I literally, that's why, like, I have founders. For example, I like what normally happens in my daily work is I have founders reaching out because I go and talk at conferences. I publish content every day on social media, right? Practical stuff, boring but useful. So I'm not about the hype. I don't go viral, but I'm telling you, hey, I tried this stuff. It didn't work or I'm gonna do this, or here's a prompt, try it out, see what happens, right? So then founders usually reach out to me because the founders or the CEOs are usually more innovative people, right? Because they've always been kind of against the grain to build a company because you cannot be like the average. So they always kind of try to stay on the cutting edge. So they are open minded. I talk with them, I teach them, I help them understand what can be done and what cannot be done, and they're like, oh, now I get it. Now I have control on this. I'm not victim to my fear, to my anxiety, to the media. Now that I have a better understanding of this, now I also want to teach my team. Could you come on board and also like train our employees? I can do some like AI productivity workshops and stuff like that, teaching them 5 workflows to be more effective every day, right? To win 1 to 2 hours per day back. When you put that into perspective, though, when you show them the maths, right, like 1 hour per day and it's like a team of 30 people for a 40-hour work week, they're starting to not only save money, but also getting a bit more ahead, right? Compared to competition, compared to how they used to do things. People have a bit less time, more time to breathe. So it is like actually a tactical advantage. But
I
that's the
think it's,
thing. So, in my opinion, it comes with knowledge. It comes with understanding these things and applying them, and not just like blindly either ignoring it or buying these out of the box solution, hoping that they're going to get what the people promise out there. Because if you don't know what's happening, how can you control the whole process? I, for example, also went on calls with the people you mentioned, right? But I didn't ask them, here's $4,000, give me the solution. I'm going to give you $3,000. I want you to explain to me step by step. And most of the time, I'll just tear it apart because I was like, I don't need this complicated process for a stuff that can be done like in 3 steps. I really don't need it. So, like, why do we go through this convoluted process? I'm a very practical person, very pragmatic. Even sometimes when business owners they ask me, I had a situation like a couple of months ago. Business owner comes to me and is like, oh, I want to have like a chatbot on my website, right? Because it can do customer service 24/7. I know that this stuff works. Cool. It is a validated use case. It can help you. But my question is, all right, tell me how many website visits do you have per week? And the guy's like, well, around 50. And it's like, my man, there's no point in you paying me $5,000 for a chatbot when you don't even have enough traffic for people to trigger it. Out of 50 people, there's going to be 2 of them talking with the chatbot. So it's not worth your money. Your main priority as a business owner should be to get more traffic on your website. What you need is more content, more eyeballs, social media, other stuff. But that's why for me, it's always important to keep the feet on the ground and focus on business problems and solutions, not the AI hype. Oh, we got agents for this and for that. What problem are you solving, right? The chatbot on the website solves the customer service problem that they don't have.
I wrote down, you just gave me an idea for a conversation for the chatbot because everybody wants those on the website. But you're right. The first question is how many people go to your site? Just to have one tool isn't worth it. And I think with the AI, there's a lot of people doing a lot of stuff just because, right? Or they
There's all
think that
these
they're,
demos and they go viral all the time, right? Oh, share my post, I'll send you the template or the blueprint or whatever. It's like, I would not get this even if you pay me money because there's no use in it. Like the use case is not there. Like if you work in an industry, for example, like printing, probably maybe a lot of your clients would prefer to call you, understand what you guys are building, and shake your hands. Do these guys would ever talk with a chatbot on a website? Very likely, no. So then why would you invest this money in a solution that for your industry is probably not going to work that well, right? It's just an assumption, but I think I'm quite accurate.
well, even with the AI, like I think, I still like the hand to hand and the voice. And I think people just still have to pick up the phone and call and go visit. And when you're visiting, you're not selling direct, you're just there to be relationship building,
Exactly.
right?
So for the relationship building, there's a better way to do it. For this, you would use the AI to coach yourself, right? You would go to
Correct.
ChatGPT and you would say, could you please do research on this company? I'm going to meet the owner tomorrow. This is the services I'm offering. Could you tailor them for this client? Could you prepare for me an email and a report that I can send to them to show them the return on investment? And now you saved 3 hours of time that you would work there slaving at the computer, and it gives it for you, and you have better interactions with the client, which is the most valuable stuff. This is smart AI implementation, not a little chatbot on your website hoping for the best.
Oh my God. I had to, and I've said it before, but I had to invite three people on my podcast in three different parts of the world for the same show. So I send them all an email asking them to give me what times are convenient for them. And then I get it back and I have to go through it and then decipher what's the best. So early days of AI, I get the email and I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do now? And I'm going to take out an Excel sheet. I'm going to list the people. And then I go, stop. I copy pasted the email into the chat. I prompted it to say, can you, rummage through this and please tell me which are the convenient times for that are the same for everyone. 2 seconds later, I had two times. I then prompted to write an email to these senior business executives, inviting them to the one time I chose. It wrote it, prompted it again to say, can you shorten the email? These executives don't like to read. Boom, sent it off. The whole thing was 7 minutes. It could
Yep.
have taken me 2 days to figure out the times to factor in daylight savings and not make a mistake.
And I totally understand you because I made mistakes at least 3 times in the past with those goddamn time zones. Because I also struggle because I travel quite often, right? And they tell me it's like, oh, we're in EST time or whatever, and I'm like, what is that? Then I send an invite and they don't check it, and then it's
They
like a
don't check
different
it.
hour or something, and it's like, oh my god, I hate this so much. So nowadays, that's why I have, for example, like I use either Calendly that automatically figure this out, or I literally go on ChatGPT. It's like, hey, these people are currently in New York. I will be traveling to Bulgaria next week. Give them a specific date that they can get in contact with me next week, considering all daylight time zones, whatever. My working schedule is 9 to 11 or something like that. It saved me so much. It's not the time, because also time is saved, but it's like the hassle. The hassle of this menial task that I hate, that I get wrong often because I'm not smart enough to figure that out. So, like, yes, please, AI, take this, fix it, please.
No, it's yeah, no, it just it helps. It's so helpful in so many ways. And if you're saving time, you're indirectly saving money. And if you're helping you with ideas, you're saving brain space and aggravation. So your body's more relaxed, your brain is more relaxed, right? A lot of people are using the voice version of Gemini and whatnot as a companion, even. If you're alone and you're sitting there staring at the wall, you could have a conversation. I was driving in the car and I can't type, so I asked a fishing question, and 30 minutes later, oh my God, 30 minutes, we're going back and forth about fishing lures. And it was
Yeah,
like,
but
man,
it
these guys,
works. It
no,
works.
it's
For
great.
example,
It's great.
in my case, one of the things I struggle with, like a lot of times, for example, when I was younger, I used to get in fights with my mom all the time because I would ask her for advice. She's very smart woman, big heart. We're very different people. Like I'm more like rational, cold, like more long-term thinker. She's like a people's person, very
Some
warm.
other lady.
So yeah, like when it's about like people, she has phenomenal advice. Now the problem with me was I would ask for advice and never follow it. And she's like, why do you ask me for advice if you never follow it? And it took me years to understand that for me, actually, the real value was in hearing myself vocalize the things. So I have all these ideas in my mind all the time, and I need to bounce them somewhere to find clarity. And instead of bothering her and getting into fights again and again, because I know I'm stubborn, so I'm going to do things my way, this is why talking with these AI assistants is very helpful. You don't need a therapist. You don't need to bother the wife or the husband with weird or stupid questions. You're like, hey, my right leg is hurting. I don't know why. Should I call the doctor? I'm feeling worried. What? Give me a couple of ideas. Just take care of it, or make me feel better. Like to find out some peace of mind regarding this. Because I don't know, it's on my mind. Whatever. It's just 5 minute talk. Maybe it's gonna figure out something for you to give you a little bit of peace of mind. There you go. No harm done. It made your day a little bit better. I'm in. I'm for it.
Or it confirms what you thought. You should go to the doctor and get it checked.
You would be surprised, Warren. Like I know at least 2 different situations that my friends told me that they used actually ChatGPT and they got the same diagnosis as the doctor. Like there was this girl in Poland, like her liver was kind of hurting, and she had a suspicion. She asked ChatGPT about it because she knew kind of what was happening, so she gave a pretty good, accurate description of the pain, the area, how it happened, and it gave her the diagnosis. She went to the doctor just to be sure. She paid €300. She got the same diagnosis. Now, I'm not telling people now to put your hands in the life of Dr. GPT, but it can be useful if you know nothing about what's happening to give it an accurate description so you would go to the doctor with a little bit of a more informed opinion. Because if you go on Google and you ask this, you're going to get, you got cancer. Like I remember back in the days, my ears, no, but back in the days, like you type on Google, my ear hurts, cancer. Like I have a little bit of a toothache cancer. So
oh my God, absolutely. Okay, I've got 3 questions. Answer what you want. Don't answer just because I know we're limited on some time. But what mindset shift do you think business leaders need to make to thrive in the next 3 to 5 years?
Experiment more. That's what I'm telling people, is like, because they have all this like fear and anxiety of like replacement and change, and it's there. I do get it because my whole department, like in Berlin, 4 years ago, got fired because of automation. But experimenting will give you a more solid grasp on reality, like more data to understand what can be replaced in your industry, so what you should be pivoting, and what's actually valuable and should be kept. Because that's the thing, right? Until you don't do it, you don't know it. You're going to speculate. You're going to think, oh my God, the AI is replacing everybody. Or, no, this stuff is useless. And as usually, the truth is in the middle. You play with it and see like, oh, this is good for project ideas and for writing and, I don't know, customer service. But it's horrible with like making up like great graphics or designs or I don't know, whatever it's your specific sauce that you have, right? So now, because you have clear data, because you experimented, you know what to do.
Good. I like that. So, and what role do intuition and gut decisions still play in a world where we have so much data? Right?
Great question. I kind of go with both, but in different times. So I would say listen first to your gut, but also check the data. So I think one of the mistakes that founders make is to just go reckless out there. And I can tell you why, because again, I talk with dozens of founders, like often I talk with them, like, because I got people asking me for ideas or they pitch me their products or whatever. And I see a lot of times they build what they think is cool or what they like. Like, I have this idea, I'm going to make it. And then I go like, who asked you for this? Do you have people that would be willing to pay for this? So their gut is telling them to build this. But if they would listen to the data, they would build maybe something a little bit different. So you see why you need both? Like, don't be blind to the data, but also don't go chasing only the data, because then you're going to miss those critical creative insights that only humans have for now.
And data might not come up with the actual idea to do it. Right?
Yeah.
It's the human still.
We've seen the patterns. Everybody's buying more toilet paper. Why? and like you can't figure it out. But because you could talk with people and you can have some novel ideas, maybe you can have a new way of reframing things. I don't know, it's just an example, right? But it is an intuition thing that's often valuable. But you should also double check it with some data to figure out, is it just a nonsense desire of mine, or is there actually something there that should be built real quick? And I see the market crack there, to go immediately, to jump into it. Like doing this is a smarter way. And I know because I saw the difference between founders making money and people working 6 months on a project, launching it, get crickets, and fail miserably. I would see the writing on the wall, but like they were too blind to listen.
Right. Well, they learn when they learn as they go. So the last question I'll just ask you, if someone's listening and feeling behind the times because they haven't done anything, what's the one step that they should take to start becoming more AI ready?
1 week is all you need. 1 week. 1 week is all you need. If you just do what I said at the beginning of the episode, just sit down, figure out what you're doing daily, and see where you can put some AI into. Like the simplest way that I do it for clients is like, hey, give me a list of tasks that you do every day. Give me like a list of 10 tasks. We'll plug it into ChatGPT and say, how can I make my work better, faster? Do you have some ideas for automation or streamlining or whatever? Because then it's not just I'm going to read about AI updates for the sake of AI updates. Nobody wants that. That's useless stuff. You're not going to go ahead with that. When you're going to get ahead is when you start winning your time back. And when you start seeing some change like, hey, AI is actually making my business better, more profitable. I'm having new ideas now. I'm feeling a different energy because I'm using a smarter tool. I mean, at the end of the day, Warren, even nowadays in 2025, we could be sending people messages with pigeons. Nobody's stopping me from sending you a pigeon, right? But we're smart enough to understand that email is the thing. Email is the thing to communicate, right? So that's why I'm saying it's similar with all this like AI stuff. It's like, yeah, you can still do things the old-fashioned way, but maybe for you there's a specific solution out there to make it a little bit better. Well, explore, find it, and use it. You like put AI to work for you, not you just figuring out the AI news and whatever. Because that's only again for it's useful for the AI influencers, not for the business owners.
Yeah, no, I get the rundown AI list every morning about what's happening, and I look at it, but I'm going to say 85% of the stuff goes way over my head. And then when I look at it, it's just like, oh my God, more stuff. So it's easier not to look at it sometimes, not be so overwhelmed, and then just stick to the basics and how you get ahead in your own daily life.
The basics. When people tell me, like, I want to get more fit, how many push-ups you do per day? Like, none. Well, there you go. Start there. You don't need to go and do calisthenics and get yourself attached to bar. Sit down and do push-ups. Right? So with AI, it's the same.
Go to the gym.
No, but like it's the same. Like with AI, it's like, oh, we saw this latest agentic workflow. Do you know how to prompt it? Do you know what you're doing daily where you could potentially automate some process? Well, no, but like we really want to try these chatbots. What for? You don't even know what you're doing with it. So of course it's not going to be successful. Because again, I talk sometimes with like CEOs, right? And we're talking about their strategy. So I have to think ahead together with them. And that's why I ask these difficult questions. Like, what are you trying to achieve in the next 6 months? Do you want to get more revenue? Do you want to make some processes easier to handle for your ops team or whatever? Like, what's the end goal here? AI is a tool, not the end goal.
So I keep saying it, and you just said it, AI tool. I want people to keep remembering that it's a tool. It's not the answer, and it's not the total solution. It's just another tool in the box that goes along with everything else that you have. And then over time, we see where it takes us. But just if you refer to it as a tool, you're not referring it to as the end game and like the leader or the know-it-all. It's not the wizard, right?
Because I see this all the time online. I see this all the time. It's like, oh, the new AI this and that. Like, what for? Like my own number one question every morning when I get my latest report on the latest developments, like, how could I use this to make my life and the life of my clients easier? And if the answer is I can't, I ditch it. For example, right, the latest hype is with like with Google like VO3, this little like video generator, right, which costs you $6 for 8 seconds of video, and people are going viral on TikTok, and it's crazy. How can a business owner use this stuff? What for? If you find ways because of your specific niche for your specific audience, good for you. But for the 90% of people out there, I don't have a usage for it, so I do not care. I'm going to ignore it. Let the AI, creative people make their videos go viral. That's not what clients pay me for, and that's not what gets you return on investment when you use this for 3 months straight. So you got to figure out your priorities and stay away from the hype and get the basics done well with this stuff.
If you didn't make videos before, you're probably not going to be making them after. And it's for the people in
Maybe,
the video world. No, you can, but the majority of people, I mean, everyone Mid-Journey, Mid-Journey, Mid-Journey. I went out to Mid-Journey. I'm like, oh my God, this is not for me. I'm not playing with video. I'm not playing with pictures, video, and I don't want to spend my time. I don't want to get sucked into that rabbit hole either of
which
keep
is
going.
cool. That's right. So sometimes I tell people like, there's nothing wrong to try out these tools, right? Because you
Correct.
want to have some fun or see, but like, figure out at the end of the day, how is this really helping you? Right? Is it making your life a little bit easier? Is it making some of your tasks? For example, when you told me in the beginning, right, I used it to write my emails, to write it in a better tone, a more diplomatic one, or I needed to figure out the time zones. That made your life, like your day easier. The workflow, if you publish this on the internet, is not going to go viral. You're not going to get 500,000 views. So like, oh my God, groundbreaking. But this is useful. If you share this with more business owners, it would make their lives better. And this is what I prioritize when I talk with people.
Yes, exactly. I just tell people what I'm doing when I'm talking about what it is, give them the idea, go try it, maybe exchange an idea or two, right? That's
Yeah,
all we could do. Yeah, unless you're in it, you don't really got to go that far. Baby steps, and then you see how it works. I mean, it sits open, Perplexity and chat sits open on my screens all day, and then I'm on them, and then I might even take something in one and put it in the other just to do a double check and get something even better and go, oh my God. So I'm in for
yeah.
$40 a month, but it's the best $40 that I'm spending. And everything in life is $20 a month. So what are we going to do? Anyways, want to be sensitive to your time as you have to be somewhere. But always a pleasure of mine to sit and chat with you. I think you're awesome and love the way you think of things, put it out there, and you just put people at ease. I'm going to put in the description your website and your LinkedIn profile. So if people want, they can reach out to you, ask you whatever they want, and
Yeah, like the
go
easiest way
from
to get
there.
in contact with me, like the easiest way to get in contact with me is they can literally like, connect with me on LinkedIn, they can like book a call. I try to keep my calendar quite open because at the end of the day, I'm always looking for like the human conversations, right? So like I try to not automate too much the personal process, right? Like if you would go to my profile and just like filling out forms and getting automated responses, people are gonna be like, I don't really feel taken care of. So like to me, I noticed that one of the important things to do in these AI times is to actually give people the gift of time, right? So I'm going to sit down with you 20 minutes, listen to where you're at with AI, what ideas you might have, and maybe try to make it a little bit better. If there's no way to improve it, that's okay. It's also totally fine. But I found that this works the best currently to also offer like a good human connection with people, not just to treat them like as like automation projects. This is just my personal opinion, though.
No, my Calendly link is everywhere, and I've got people, all kinds of people that just book the
Yeah,
times, and I'm happy just to talk, to meet new people, maybe a new idea. If I could give someone an idea and help them out and change their life, I feel even better. And what's a half hour at the end of the day, right? It's not that
yeah.
long, so it's pretty good. Anyways, awesome. I'll put all that so people could reach out to you. Thank you again. We'll have you back on. Maybe we'll go a little one step far next time because it'll be the same people and they will already have done everything that you suggested this time. To everybody
One step at
listening,
a
and
time.
to everybody listening, I hope you stay till the end. I'm sure you stayed till the end, all of my millions of viewers and listeners. Uh, Again, if anyone has any ideas, something they want to hear, they want to come on, they want to do something, let me know. I'm always happy to talk to everyone and help put everything out there. Alex, again, thank you. Everybody else, thank you. Warren Werbitt, printing's alive, and I love print and fishing. Until the next time,
Buona serata, ciao.
ciao.